Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you the highlights of our Baramundi Management Suite 2022. We're going to start with some usability features, going on with some security improvements, and after that we'll jump into a discovery part to figure out what's going on in your network. And last but not least, we show you some news out of our Argus Cockpit, how to get some new notifications from your entire IT environment or even your Baramundi management server itself. Let's dive into that.
And we're going to start with the Baramundi Kiosk. We changed a lot in the Baramundi Kiosk in our new version to make the work with the kiosk itself even more efficient for your end users. And to start, it's already the look and feel of the kiosk itself. Right at the beginning, the design mode is system-based, meaning if your system is configured to dark, the Baramundi Kiosk will be shown in dark mode as well. If you would like to change that, you can do this also manually by clicking on the dark mode, for example, or vice versa to the light mode. For now, we do stick to the system configuration. And secondly, we have a new default option. So right now, the default here is the tile view. In the upper right corner, you already know that, you can easily switch to the list view, and this kind of view can be pre-configured as a default view for your users. So as you can see in the list view, there's an easy way to assign jobs right away to the computer you're currently logged into. But another new feature is the multi-selection up here. So if you have a need to assign multiple jobs at once to the current device, simply select them and click on Assign. The entire list here was based on the endpoint which we are currently logged into. As you know, in the upper right corner to log in, you can log in as a user. And that's another change. We have a possibility now to show a message, like in our case, the important node that the software deployments will be unavailable for the next 2 hours, which you can easily change in the configuration file. Let's log in as a user to continue. And now we're logged in at Lindsay. So we do have even more jobs available for the user itself and more devices registered for the user Lindsay. And if we pick one job, like for example, the Adobe Illustrator, there is an easy way to assign a job to multiple devices at once. Let's imagine you're responsible for an entire classroom. You can simply use the Baramundi Kiosk to assign new jobs to the entire room all at once, simply by using the Baramundi Kiosk. So simply assign those two devices to our job here. Successfully assigned. That's it. Another feature is the possibility to use HTML tags in the description as well. Look at the install and pass here. Simply use well-known HTML tags in the kiosk description to highlight whatever is needed, and you can even add pictures, for example, or hyperlinks or whatever you need to do to make it more efficient to use the Baramundi Kiosk. Like in this case, only the bold and red color. This looks like in the management center. You can see this over here. We're at the kiosk job itself. We have our edit mode, and scrolling further down, there is the kiosk section with the description and the HTML tags. And I think you already know the possibilities are kind of endless, whatever you need to do to highlight your specific jobs here. And that's it so far, talking about the kiosk itself. Now, let's jump into the second big feature, security-wise, talking about the sealed managed software and the sealed baramundi management agent. We're going to start to talk about the sealed managed software. So if you are a customer who uses managed software already, don't be afraid, don't be scared. Our managed software is checked continuously that we will not deliver the wrong files to your DIBs by downloading from Baramundi software. So what we did now is the step in between. If you store the files downloaded from Baramundi on your DIB, that nobody else can change those files. So, but how does that work? So simply go to Configuration, DIB, Manage Software Data Security. There is already a huge explanation how the sealing process itself is going to happen. So if you want to read that, just simply pause for a minute. In my case, the entire management software data security, the sealing of the files is already enabled. And you can see there was a last fast sealing and a last full sealing. The fast sealing is really fast because it only checks the already known files on your DIB if the checksum still matches. On the other hand, the full sealing would even check for new files on your DIB in the managed software folder and would seal them automatically. So I did the full and the fast sealing in the background. You just saw the timestamps changing. So how does this look like on the software itself? Simply go to Software, Manage Software. As you already know, there's the Content tab. For example, we picked the Adobe Reader. And now you can find a new tab called Sealing. So over here, there is also a change source. As you may know, the post-inst and the pre-inst BDS files are your way how you can configure pre or post steps after an installation or before an installation. So they had to be sealed manually, and all the other files came from the Baramundi software import itself. And if there was a change made manually, you even see which user did the change. So what's the process behind all this? Let's imagine here is a custom zip file as well, which was imported from managed software, but the custom file is for you as a customer to even share some files. Let's imagine you're going to change this with a different file. So you add more files here onto your DIB. Go ahead. And the file size changed. If you did this on purpose, then you have to start a new sealing process. You do not have to seal the entire DIB again. Simply go ahead and start the sealing process for the Adobe Reader itself. And this makes sure all changes were valid in your environment. And yeah, the entire system makes sense if somebody proves it. And this somebody is our Baramundi management agent. There you go. We had some changes here. And yes, we are sure we did this on purpose. And now it's changed to manual sealing by us, the admin minus EN. And our Baramundi management agent will check those checksums even before he starts to execute the job itself. So a job target will tell you if there was an error or a mismatch in those checksums and will abort the job execution before it starts the job. And that's how the sealing process works with our example of the Adobe Reader. But like mentioned at the beginning, it's not only managed software affected by the sealing, it's also our agent itself. So scrolling down and scrolling up in the configuration, server management agent, there is a tab called integrity. Again, a big description. You can pause here for a minute. And we do check our own installation files of the baramundi management agent too.
And that's so far. Now I'm going to show you a little bit more how to discover devices in your environment. After the well-known features of scanning using SNMP and ARP, we now have the possibility to scan with the secure shell as well. And you guys out there already celebrate, hey, that sounds like Linux, and you're absolutely right. And how this is going to look like, we dive into that.
So, as you may know, in the inventory section, we have the possibility to create some profiles. Back in the days that we had the possibility to do an SNMP scan, we added an ARP scan, and now we added as a new feature the SSH scan as well, so scanning secure shell devices. We already pre-configured a Warehouse 2 scan for example Linux machines. Basically, we pre-configured the range where we would like to scan, and what's still missing here is we pick a specific folder to drop the new machines or the new devices discovered into this folder. And as you already know, we have to create a job first using this profile, but you do know this behavior already, and as soon as this is done and the job was successfully executed, we can double check our environment and our Linux machines will pop on here based on the secure shell execution. And the discovery is just the first part. You can use them in dynamic groups as well, the new universal dynamic groups, because down here we have the possibility to look at network devices too. And we have a lot of inventory data, like for example the used secure shell version and the keys used to communicate, and even if it's secure enough for your environment or even not. And basically what you want to do is you want to do a little bit more with those devices. So in my test, let's check those devices. And another feature with our new version are the custom commands. Like for example, we can try to ping this device. You can see there is a IP already available, and you can pre-configure them easily by going to Configuration, Management Center, and set Global Client Commands. That means you as an administrator of all your other BMC users can pre-configure custom commands which all your BMC users can simply use. And as you can see, not only for Windows devices, also for industrial control devices and our new SSH discovered network devices too. Simply client command here, but I assume you got the point.
And last but not least, we dive into Argus Cockpit. And in Argus Cockpit, it's all about notifications. So either you would like to have an email notification yourself, or you would like to be notified as a part of a subscription in your Argus Cockpit about your baramundi services. This is also possible, and how this looks like, I'm going to show you now.
The first dashboard we're going to see is the system health dashboard with the new feature of the notification icon over here. There is a nice overview with errors and warning according your baramundi services. But for sure, you don't want to be in this page all the time or check it all day long. So you can easily enable your own notifications to get information about your baramundi services right away if they happen. Another feature is at the endpoint health side to have a notification based on UDG thresholds. Like for example, in this UDG over here, where we do see all the endpoints where the BitLocker pin is not enabled. And now we do have the possibility to enable the email notification. So basically that means if the threshold was reached or breached, you will get an email notification of this specific UDG. And last but not least, there is a third option to receive an email notification as soon as your keys are going to be invalid. So in the upper right, going to reporting, that's something you already know. You have to configure your reporting keys, and to enable your notification, simply click on this little icon here, and same behavior, just enable an email notification to receive an email in advance as soon as this token is going to be invalid. And after a while, you will have a bunch of notification. And to keep track of all your notifications, we have a new option in the upper right, going to your icon, notifications. And here there is a simple way to track all of your notifications, even with a filter function based on for example, the first thing we did, the server status changes. And apart from simply turning them on and off in this view, you can also click this button on the right side to jump directly to the specific section. And by the way, that's not just it. In this view, you can see the new server status history. What that means is basically, like you already noticed from the UDGs, you have a historic view on your server status, like going back in time, what happened, and especially when did it happen. This is pretty important if you may have a pattern, like for example, each Sunday at whatever is a certain time frame where your server has an issue.
So, and that's it for now. If you guys out there would like to know a little bit more, if you have any questions, simply go to baramundi.com. Thank you all out there for watching and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.